Welcome to Yokohama Fishing Show 2026.
ยินดีต้อนรับสู่งาน Yokohama Fishing Show ปี 2026 นะครับ
Selamat datang ke Yokohama Fishing Show 2026.
Let's go! Alright, so immediately I can see the Sephia Limited. So let's talk a little bit about this. Sephia Limited, right? This rod is a lot of anglers have a love-hate relationship with this rod. Why? Because it's very hard to get. Okay? Because production capacity is quite limited. Okay, so people who do not get their hands on the Sephia Limited can sometimes be quite disappointed. Even the Japanese market itself already has quite a lot of anglers fighting for this rods. So if you're someone who wants these, right, you better check with your closest dealer to see if they can secure one for you. Okay, so here this year, right, we will see Sephia Limited, Metal Sute, Shore version, and also the tip egging version, all three with the new SKUs. Okay, so the Metal Sute, we'll check it out later. It's an addition of a few SKUs. The Shore, again, also addition of 2 SKUs. But the tip egging has just been launched. Okay, so 4 SKUs there. We'll also have a look at the tip egging and the Metal Sute there. So these are the Shore egging models. Shore egging models, you can see. One word to summarize these rods, right, I will use is thinness. You see how thin the blanks are. Why? Because Sephia Limited, right, they are using the latest material, the latest most popular material in rod making right now is the M46X. Okay, it's a new material that can withstand higher loads. Okay, the previous one is M40X. Okay, and now we have the M46X. Right, because of how strong the material is, right, we are able to make it slim and also light. So all the Sephia Limited you see this year, right, compared to the 2019 Sephia Limited, the previous rendition, are all lighter. So another thing is the grip. So grip, you can see that it's flat here. Okay? So it's flat here, so it gives you a very, very good grip on it. Okay? No matter how you grip it, it will feel very, very nice in the hands. Okay? And of course, you have your carbon monocoque for sensitivity. Another thing is they are filled with X-Guide titanium guides, right? So why is that important? Is because when you use titanium guides, right, you see there is little flex in the guide. I'm not too sure if you can see this. Okay, so this is very, very important because I'm actually applying quite a lot of pressure here, right? But then it doesn't bend, it doesn't flex. Okay, so this is very, very important when it comes to fishing a more versatile game. Let's say you will get a larger squid. You don't have to worry about your lines, right? Or you don't have to worry about your guides being bent. Okay. So let's have a look at the Metal Sute and tip egging ones. So we have our Japanese instructor Tomito Kuro-san here. He's fished our Southeast Asia region quite a few times for egging. Okay? So he's our instructor for boat egging in Japan. Right? So let's have a look. Here. Let me just pull out 2 SKUs for you to see. Okay? So this is a Metal Sute, and let me get one tip egging for you. It's tip egging. Right. So it's the same as the Shore egging SKUs. So they all use full titanium X guides. Okay, original from Shimano. Okay, X guides. So you can be very, very sure of the strength of these guides. So what you can see here in my left hand, this is the Metal Sute. In my right hand, here's the tip egging. Okay, what is different here is actually the tip. Okay, on boat egging, right, you always use solid tips. Okay, and Shimano this time has been very, very, I would say even more so, right? They're very, very particular in detail. Can you see the color? The color of the tip? On the tip egging and on the Metal Sute, these are actually not white. These are actually silver color. Okay, why? Because usually on Metal Sute, right, the Metal Sute Sephia boat egging rods, usually you use them at night. So when the light shines brightly from the lamps, right, on the boat, on the rod, if it's white, right, it gives a very a glaring vision of the white color parts. So it becomes a bit uncomfortable to the eye. Okay? But then when you use silver, right, it becomes more comfortable and it actually becomes more visible than white. So Tomitokoros are actually tested a lot of different kind of combinations. You have white, you have light white, dark white, matte white, you have silver, dark silver, light silver. So he used a lot of different kind of combinations to get this combination. Okay, so a lot of details went into the production, the development of this product. Okay, so at the same time, you can see that the tip is very different, the color. Okay, so this one has a tinge of green in it, okay, while the tip egging does not, right? So all the tip egging, right, you will not see the green color here. Even on the Metal Saute lineup, you only have one SKU that has the green color here. So this green color means glass solid. Okay, it's actually glass solid, not carbon solid. This here is carbon solid. And this here is glass solid. What are the differences? The glass solid is obviously much stronger, and also it has more flex. Okay, so this is the carbon solid usually. Okay, but for glass solid, right, it can bend much more. It can bend much more like this. Okay? So why is this important? It's because for this one, right, for the Metal Saute, sometimes you use a very heavy sinker weight, and when you use a very heavy sinker weight, you will not be able to feel it in your hands anymore because the sinker is just pulling down on your rod too much. By then, you will need to rely on your eyes. Okay? And if it doesn't go vertical like this does, you see, it has to go vertical. Okay? If it doesn't go vertical and if it's like this, it's very hard for you to see when the squid bites. Okay? So when it's vertical, then you can see when the squids are moving. Okay? So this is very important in when you use a very heavy sinker for Metal Saute. As for the tip egging, right, the tip egging is not glass solid, okay? So you can't really do the vertical thing, okay? But you don't really use it for that heavy applications anyway, okay? Usually, right, for tip egging, the heaviest you will go is probably 60 or 70 or 80 grams, okay? For Metal Saute, you go more than 100, sometimes 150 grams. So it's a very different use case. And in a later Sephia Limited edition, right, these are all 3-piece rods, okay? 3-piece square, one at the butt, one here, and another one. It's a solid tip. Okay? Why Shimano do this is because if, in whatever the case, you break your rod, right, you only need to. Usually, it breaks at the tip, and if you do that, you only need to replace the tip. Okay? So a lot of knowledge goes into these rods, right? So I can't really explain everything in one video, in this video, because it's going to be too long. But if you like, you can check out our other videos on the Sephia and how to use them between Sephia Metal Saute and Sephia tip egging. Okay? Alright, so that's Sephia Limited. Next to it, let's check out the Grappler full bend. Grappler full bend here. Okay? So when you see full bend, right, I believe that you know about our Ocea Jigger full bend and also our game type full bend. Okay? But if you don't know, it's fine because now Shimano has come up with a even more affordable lineup, the Grappler full bend. So the full bend is a full solid rod, okay, for jigging, and they only come in the bait casting models. As you can see here, all 5 are bait casting models. So when you talk about full solid, right, definitely you're going to have a slightly heavier feel because it's full solid, it's not hollow, okay? But anglers now, right, modern anglers, we're seeing more and more anglers, they like to lift the rod themselves, not let the rod do too much of the work because they want to have that kind of sensation, right? Okay, so these full solid rods, right, they help with the sensation a lot, okay? For anglers chasing that feel of pulling on your catch, right, these are the rods for you, okay? But if, let's say you're using a 400 gram, 500 gram jig, okay, and you're expecting the rod to do a lot of the work for you, then you'll be slightly mistaken because for the full solid rods, right, they are not that sensitive, okay? And you have to use more of your own strength to lift it up when you're doing your jig, your slow jigging, or your quick jigging, all right? So, the best way I would recommend this rod is it's in the middle, right? It's in the middle of slow jigging and fast jigging. So, for anglers, right, who have just started out on their jigging journey, you are not too sure if you like slow pitch, slow jigging, which goes like a slow jigging, big movements, or fast jigging. You're not too sure which one you like. Get this one first because it can do both. Okay, the taper is just nice. It's 6'4". It's not 7'3", which is usually used in fast jigging. It's not 5'5", which is usually used in slow jigging. It's 6'4", just nice in the middle. Okay, so this rod will let you know which one you like more. Then after you get the feel of it, right, you like slow jigging or quick jigging more, then you go for, when you upgrade to, let's say, game type or Ocea Jigger, right, you know which one to go for. Okay, so the Grappler full bend, the other thing about it is the bottom, the grip here, there's a flat profile to it so that it can rest nicely on your hands. Okay, yeah. All right, next let's have a look at the Ocea Jigger Concept S. So in the sea of black, you can see these cork, right? Yeah, these are the Concept S. So right off the bat, you can see that they have 5 SKU and all of them are spinning models because Concept S, right? S. But this year Shimano has added a few more adjectives to the capital letter S. Okay, strong and slim. Okay, so both S as well. So Concept S. What are the main features, right? Immediately you can see you have this S and L. Okay. Our Pro Staff instructor Shaifi made a very funny video of saying that maybe this is where Shimano messed up because some people, they couldn't put 8,000 reels on it, right? Well, that's not the case. It's because when you use S, right, when you use the mode S, it means that you can put reels of 6,000 size and below comfortably. Because usually, right, not a lot of rods, right, can fit from small to large reels comfortably in the reel seat, okay? But this one can. Okay? If you're using any reel size that is larger than 6,000, larger, yeah, not 6,000, yeah, 6,000 and below, you use S. But if any reel size that is larger than 8,000, larger than 6,000, meaning 8,000, 10,000, 14,000, right, you switch to the L. Switch to the L, and this is where you put your reel in. It will fit very snug. Okay, so this is one of the main features of the Concept S. The other feature, right, is that the cork here, the design has been changed to have cork. Why? Because like cork is less slippery, okay, and it offers a more classic design on the rod, okay, which is getting very popular again nowadays. You can see here there's a flat profile on the side. Okay, I'm not too sure if you can see this. A flat profile here makes it for very nice grip. Okay, if it's round, it might slip, but because of this contour here, you get a very nice grip on the rod. Okay, and on the top 3 guides, right, you see here, they are X-Guide titanium. We covered this earlier in the Sephia Limited, right? Titanium is very strong. You can see there's not a lot of flex here. Okay, as compared to maybe other rods, right? Let's say the Grappler, right? The Grappler, they don't really use titanium, so it might be a little bit softer. Okay, so very important. Why? Because you can see the angle here as well. The angle is also slightly. The angle here is larger as well. So why did Shimano design this to have a larger angle here? Because if you're doing very quick jigging, right, and then sometimes your line will wrap on the guide, the angle here, right, helps to let the line untangle itself, okay, as compared to something that is more 90 degree. All right, and there is very little, a very particular detail here is the finish of the guide here. the finish of the S-Guide titanium here. Okay, so you can see that it's more rounded as compared to the usual guides. They're not that sharp. So even if your line gets tangled here, and there's a lot of friction, right? Because of the rounded finish here, your line doesn't get hurt. Okay, and it doesn't. It reduces the possibility of it snapping, right, after it gets untangled. Alright, so it's very, very important. All these are small details that you will get in the higher end models in Shimano's lineup. So, Concept S. The taper is 6'4" as well, similar to the full bend, but the full bend only has big casting models, right? The Concept S is the spinning part of it, okay? It only has spinning models. So, how would I recommend the Concept S is, it's somewhere in between quick jerk and natural jerk. Natural jerk is usually for slow. Quick jerk is usually for very, very quick jigging, okay? So, if you don't know which one you want first, go for the Concept S, okay? Then, once you get a good feel of what style you like, right, then you switch to the quick jerk or natural jerk. That is what I would recommend, yeah. Okay, so that is the Ocea Jigger Concept S. Okay, next, the final rod that we'll be looking at is also one of the highlights of this this entire show. Okay, so Shimano this year, they are focusing more on the big game, okay, the popping, casting, alongside with the Stella 18,000, 20, 25 and 30,000, right? So they have this latest rod called the Ocea Plugger BG. BG meaning big game. And within BG, right, you get a few SKUs that are meant for different styles of casting. Yeah, they are different styles of casting. I think the popping and casting enthusiasts, you guys would know. For GT, for tuna, they are completely different rods. Okay, so that's why you need two different rods if you're aiming for GT and tuna. Okay? So let's cover them a little bit here. So guys, let me get a rod for you here. Alright guys, I finally got my hands on one of the Ocea Plugger BG. Okay, so this is the Flex Energy model. So we have three types: the Monster Drive, the Flex Energy, and the Bluefin Tuna. Three types in the Ocea Plugger BG Big Game. So what are the differences? For casting rods, right, the main difference will be the rebound strength, the rebound power. Rebound as in like when you do this, right, where does it, like how stiff it is, okay? Oh, this is really stiff. I can't really show you the bend, but rebound power, meaning something like the butt power, okay? So for Flex Energy, right, it is somewhere in the middle, okay? For Monster Drive, it is the one with the highest rebound out of the three, okay? And for Bluefin Tuna is the one with the lowest rebound power, okay? So this is very, very important. It doesn't mean that low rebound power equals not good rod, right? That's never the case. It depends on application. For you to choose which one to go for, Flex Energy, Monster Drive, or the Bluefin Tuna, it depends on what kind of target you're looking for. So the simplest way I can make this for you guys is, if you're targeting GTs, right, go for the Monster Drive. If you're targeting, let's say, GTs and maybe some dogtooth or some kind of yellowtail tuna classes of 100 kilos and below, then go for the Flex Energy, because it's somewhere in between medium rebound strength and low rebound strength, okay? Then, if you're going for Bluefin Tuna, go for our Bluefin Tuna SKUs. All four of them, they are made for 100 kilograms and above, okay? So four of them, for different classes of Bluefin Tuna. If you're looking for 100 to 200, I think there are two SKUs that are suitable. Then 200 or 300, there's only one SKU that is suitable for that. It's the one with the G. And the G SKU has glass in it, so it's slightly heavier, but then it's going to be more durable because you're aiming for 300 kilogram Bluefin Tuna, right? So what are the features of this? It's an X-Guide, okay? So X-Guide, you can see that the guide here, okay, is different from the usual Fuji guides because it's like the length is the same, but the distance of the guide hole is very different as compared to the Fuji. It's slightly further away from the blanks. Why is this important? It's because when you cast, right, when the line leaves your spool and goes into this guide, it spins, it doesn't hit your blanks. Right? This is very important because a lot of the loss in energy, right, happens when the lines hit the blank. Okay, and when that happens, you're going to get lower casting distances. Okay, if you get that, you're going to miss some of your cast out to your preferred spot, your target spot. Okay, okay. So the thing about these guys, right? For the Flex Energy and the Monster Drive, they are for larger fish, but then not the 100 kilograms and above size, right? So that's why you can still use guide sizes like these, okay? But for the bluefin tunas, those rods, right, they are meant for bluefin tunas of 100 kilograms and above. So once you go out to that class, the reels will also have to be bigger, usually 20,000 and above. And when you go up to that kind of size of reels, right, your spool's going to be larger. And when your line exits your spool, it's going to have a larger, it's going to spin more as well, right? A larger rounded profile. So these guide sizes won't work. So that's why on the bluefin tuna rods, right, you get a larger guide size like these. Okay? So, also special features here. You have a V-hole grip here. I'm not too sure if you can see this, but it's flat on the sides. So similar to the Concept S, just now we've seen, right, this profile here, you have it on the Grappler Type C as well, and also some of the Type Js, okay? So it provides with very, very steady grip, very firm grips, okay? As compared to if they were rounded all the way. Because if they're rounded all the way, you might slip, right? But then because of these contours here, you grab it, it's very hard for you to, slip, right, okay? So this is one of the special features, and there's actually an experience corner for customers to try it later, right? For people who visit the booth to try, pulling on these rods, the Flex Energy, the Monster Drive, and the bluefin tuna. Let me just show you the experience corner real quick. I'll just put this back first. Guys, so right now, right, on the left is a Shimano staff. They're performing a demo. And on the right is someone who wants to try the Ocea Plugger BG, okay? So on the left there, you can see the rods there are all the different SKUs, okay, of the Ocea Plugger BG. Okay? And behind the tester, right, you can see different degrees. There's a 0, 45, 60, and 90 degrees, right? So that is roughly the use case, the application, okay? So if we're talking about Monster Drive, usually it'll be applications for if you're expecting a 45-degree bend. Flex Energy, 60, and bluefin tuna, 90. So, if you're asking, can the Monster Drive bend to 90 degrees? Absolutely not. And because of the higher rebound strength, you will not be able to bend up to 90. Even if you do, the rod is probably not going to hold itself, right? Because of the strong butt power. It's most likely it might break, maybe. Yeah. So, this is very important. The degree is very important. Why? Because when you're targeting GT, and you're targeting tuna, these are two very, very different species. They have very, very different behaviors as well. For GTs, once they get a strike, they swim out into reef structures. They swim fast, spurts of energy. Okay? They take it and just go. Okay? So those are GTs. So you probably use a Monster Drive or Flex Energy rod for that because it goes out, right? But for tunas, it's very different. Tunas, they don't have large spurts of energy. They take it and they swim. They dive. They take a prey, they dive at constant speeds. Very, very, very long fights. For GTs, right, usually for 60 kilograms, 80 or maybe 100, right, you probably fight for 40, 60 minutes, right? But for tunas, once you get them, you're in for the long haul. Usually you fight for anywhere between 40 minutes to a few hours, right, depending on the size. So when the tuna dives down, you need to be able to control it as well. Because it dives down, right, you need something like a 90-degree rod, okay? Because if you use something that is too stiff, let's say you use the Monster Drive or Ocea Plugger Limited, you use that on tuna. Tunas also have very, very soft lips as well. So when you use something that has too high of a rebound strength, right, what happens is you end up ripping it out, okay? So you can see here, right, right now, they are using the strongest one in the Ocea Plugger BG, okay? Now on the left, Kosaka-san is saying, now it's going up to 25 kilograms. 23 right now. And as you can see, there's a lot like high stick, right? What we call high stick. Okay, and this is the bluefin tuna SKU S72XXSHG. Okay, the strongest one in the lineup for 300 kilogram tunas. Okay, so as you can see, the tester earlier pulled up to 90 degrees. Okay, but you can't really do that with the Monster Drive or Flex Energy rods. Okay, this one is for the bluefin tuna. Okay, so this experience corner is just for the bluefin tuna. So once you understand the different types of behaviors of the fish, a GT compared to a tuna, right, you'll be able to choose your tackle in a more correct way, I would say. Because like, if you're going to use a tuna rod for a GT, right, you're the one that's going to tire out. Because GT, right, you have to stop it in its tracks. You can't let the GT get into reefs. And if you use something that's too soft, like the tuna rods here, right, this one has low rebound power. If you use this, right, the GT is going to take you for a spin. The GT is going to control you and not the other way around, okay? And it's going to end up in the reef. Because you don't have enough power in a rod to help you fight a 100 kilogram GT, right? So then you need something that has better rebound power, higher rebound power, stronger rebound power. Because you want a rod to do most of the work. But for bluefin tuna rod, for tuna rods, you need cushioning. You need cushioning because you are in it for the long run. Right? It's going to be a long fight. You have to tire it out, okay? And you can't be using a very, very high rebound strength rod to do that for you. Okay. So it's also because, like I mentioned earlier, bluefin tuna, they dive. They don't go out. So if they dive, you use a GT rod for a diving tuna, you're going to either tear the lip of the tuna, or you might possibly, in the worst case, break the rod. Okay? So that's a little bit of this is a little bit tip for those who are looking to do both tuna and GT, fish both using the same rod. It's going to be tough. Maybe you can try using the Flex Energy. Okay, but generally we recommend you using two different setups for it. Okay. All right. I think, yeah, we've covered all of the rods here, like the latest ones. They are more suitable to our region. Let's have a look at some of the lures, okay? Very, very interesting for the eggy lures.